want to touch on something that you had mentioned at that science and sport webinar. And there's two parts of it. So I'll start with the first one. How much does the role of the manager at a high level play when it comes to their philosophy on data? Like, is it the case that, generally speaking, most managers these days in football are data driven and or understand the need for it? And what happens if they're not? Like, is it pushing water up a mountain or up a hill? Can you just speak to that a little bit in terms of like the cultural component, how it might depend on we'll just say culture within the club
Mm.
on
Yeah,
in any given season?
yeah. I think yeah, it's a really interesting you mentioned. I'm not sure about in other sport, but in soccer, especially in the English Premier League, coaches tend to be the most dominant figure in the club. They tend to have a lot of say in a lot of things, and they tend like to control. They like to hold the power. I think you could argue that because their job is on the line as well, so that's why they want to make sure everything is under control. So you tend to get um, manager that I think when it comes to data, I think some manager were really open to it, where some manager probably not. And some manager probably have their own opinion. They might not want to see the data, especially when I'm thinking nutrition, especially body composition. So some manager they will just look at that player and we just say, this player is not in a good shape. You need to do something with it. Need know all the data, everything. We just look at by his eye, and then he just say, yeah. So I guess it's getting better how things have evolved. I think generally football club, soccer club are more data driven now, especially when it comes to recruiting. You can see like every few months we are getting more and more data analysts nowadays into the cloud. So I think it's progressing that way, which is a good way. I think also we as a nutritionist, I think we need to keep up with that as well. I think we need to be better with presenting our information. I think what often get present is body composition data, which is why that tend to be an issue because that's the only data we present. I think we need to be better in presenting other data and linking, let's say, dietary intake data with performance. I think that will help to change the narrative and also change the culture in soccer. Mm.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Darcy and Norman talked about this in the first episode related to your planning, prioritization, and your systems, and how the data should be used to support a narrative or an hypothesis or a point of view that oftentimes in clubs, and I see this in businesses too, based on my professional experience, is people just look at data and say, oh, the data shows this, let's do that. Though you generally need to have a point of view. So I'm with you there. Just it's a good lesson in general, not just I believe in football.